The Super Eagles are finally done with their week-long plus training tour in Europe that was designed to sharpen their preparation for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. And I'm not going to talk much about their game against the Sabonaya of Russia, but we'll look at some takeaways and matters arising from the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria ahead of their 2026 World Cup qualifiers in September and October this year, September, October 2025. But before I proceed with the details of the stories, if you are new on this platform, please let's all support this platform to grow. What you can do to support the platform is first, you subscribe to the channel. After that, you hit on the post notification bell for more updates. You like the video and share to other social media platforms so that others will also get access to this video. After that, you drop your decent comments in the comment box for special shout out after my presentation. My name still remains Solomon Kodja Asante, your only nomenclature with the engineer's philosophy in sports, a Ghanaian who has declared his full support for Nigeria sports and have been given a Nigerian name on this platform. Is the only one, Solomon Chuku Emeka. Ladies and gentlemen, let's delve into the details of the stories. And to start with is the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, as they are finally done with their week-long plus training tour in Europe. In England, that is London, and also in Russia, that is Moscow. That was designed to sharpen their preparation for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers in September and October. 4 matches to go. Can the Super Eagles of Nigeria still make it to the 2026 World Cup tournaments in the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico? And these matches, as in the training tour in Europe, was the platform for Eric Sequechel to get the right blend of experience and emerging talent through his foreign-based players and also local hopefuls invitations. And there's a time he's going to work around the clock to get the very best players for the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the upcoming 2026 World Cup qualifiers. Let's shift our focus to their last game against the Sabonaya of Russia. We all saw what happened or what transpired between the Super Eagles and that of the Sabonaya of Russia. Not to talk much about the game, let's look at the first 11 of the team. And I really appreciate the Super Eagles of Nigeria's energy, especially in the second half. Their athleticism, but I wasn't much okay with the team's attacking intent, because first half it was very, very appalling for the likes of Victor Boniface, Christensus Usain, Moses Simon, and that of Fisayo Dele Bashiru. They didn't do anything best to propel the Super Eagles of Nigeria to victory in the first half against Russia, but they came in with different energy in the second half to do something, of which they had the equalizer through Tolu Arokodari. And still in the first 11, they had Maduka Okoye in the goalpost. When you go to the right side of defense, we had Bright Osai Samuel in the left side of defense. We had Bruno Onyemechi in the center pair. We had William Truss Income. For the very first time this international break, he played for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He partnered Semi Ayayi, who scored on goal against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. When you go into the middle, I really loved the synergy between Frank Onyeka and Rafael Onyedika. They really did well as the 6 and 8 positions. They dominated the game, especially in the second half for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And my man of the match of the game was Rafael Onyedika. When you go into the attack, we had Moses Simon at the left wings and Dele Bashiru Fisayo at the right wings, with Christensus Uzi as an attacking midfielder, with Victor Boniface leading the attack. In the second half, we had introduction like Igo Obu and that of Tolu Arokodai and others coming into to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I can't remember. Olusegun too came in the game, and he did very well for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I least expected that from him, but indeed, that was the time for him to showcase himself for the very first time in the colors of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And that is it, as I've already spoken about. Russia came in the game with technical experience, and also they were very organized to play against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They did well at the end of 90 minutes of soccer fiesta. Nigeria scored 1, same as Russia scoring the first goal through a cross which Semi Ajayi just turned it into his purpose inadvertently. He needed to get a first goal for Russia. But Tolu Arokodari also needed to pass on a mistake by the Russian goalkeeper to get the equalizer for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And that was it. Looking at the takeaways of the game, head coach of the team, Eric Sequichel, has spoken at length just after the game. And the first video that we are going to watch from Eric Sequichel is that he wasn't impressed with the first half performance of the team against Russia, but it was better in the second half. Let's watch this video after the game.
Russia has a good team with a lot of pressure and technical quality. We did not play well in the first half. We didn't enforce our pressing game so well. But we were better in the second half with our pressing, and that made the difference for us. It was not an easy game.
Mes joueurs, parce que c'était pas un match facile. Quand je dis que le match n'a pas été facile, c'est qu'on a joué contre une grande équipe.
When I say the game was not easy, it was because we played against a very good team. They had their chances in the first half, and they took it. We had our chance, but the keeper saved it. In the second half, Russia had 2 chances, but we had 1 or 2, and we scored. Now we're talking about the future of my team, as we are preparing for the World Cup qualifiers. We made lots of changes to the squad, and our usual pressing game was a bit difficult, because the new players are yet to fully understand how we want to play. So we need to keep working on our playing pattern and try to find balance.
Des enseignements où il va peut-être falloir penser à mettre un plan de jeu.
Eric Sequichel proceeded by explaining why the Super Eagles of Nigeria still considering identical goals in 3 consecutive matches. Looking at his experience so far with the team, he has been in the dugouts for the very first time. That was against Russia. The first game, he won 2-0. He played 1-1 against Zimbabwe. He came in the Unity Cup. He scored the Black Stars of Ghana by 2-1 and also played 2-2 against Jamaica, the Reggae Boys. And the last game in his post as a coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria was against Russia. That was 1-1. I stand to be corrected. So far, 5 games. He is unbeaten. He has gotten 2 victories and 3 draws. It's not the best as the coach of the Super Eagles because he needed to dominate with wins. But looking at his stance now, he has scored 8 goals and conceded 5 goals, meaning day in and day out, the Super Eagles of Nigeria still conceding more goals. And even when you look at the Unity Cup goals that the Super Eagles of Nigeria conceded, and with respect to what they conceded against Russian national team, the Sibonaya, they are very identical. They all came off crosses from the right side, and you could see anytime it comes in, it's a goal against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We saw that of Brandon Thomas Asante's goal against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. There are 2 goals against Jamaica, and even their last game against Russia, you could see what happened. Bright Osai Samuel was being outrun in the pace where a crossing came in from the right side. But as I said, inadvertently, Semi Ajayi needed to score himself, and that was it against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. These are the exact words to his explanation to why they are still considering identical goals in his 3 consecutive matches, 2 in the 2025 Unity Cup tournament, and the last one against Russia. Let's have a glance on our screens. He started by saying, "The game was indeed difficult. We had a few moments, and the Russians did too. I think that's 2 strong teams met. We will make changes. We will work on playing under pressure because this problem has already arisen in the last 3 matches. We need to learn to cope with the opponent's pressing. This was especially noticeable in the second half when we were practically left without the ball. This is thanks to the Russian footballers." And this is what Eric Sequichel has to say about the Super Eagles of Nigeria considering identical goals in their last 3 matches, not even in their last 3 matches. When you look at the goal they conceded against Zimbabwe in Uyo, it's the same goal coming in from the right side of their defense. So I don't know. And this time, we shouldn't also forget that some key players were not part of the team in terms of the attack, where I wasn't impressed. That is the attacking intent. We know that Victor Osimhen will come in, Ademola Lookman will come in, and other players will also augment the squad. When it comes into the defense, Kevin Bassey wasn't there, Ola Aina wasn't there. Some key players too can come and augment the squad in the defense. So let's look at how the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be able to have the right blend of experience and emerging talents going into the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, because the Super Eagles are in dire need of victories in their last 4 matches in order to propel them for the 2026 World Cup tournaments in the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. So that is it coming in from the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Eric Sequichel, just after the game against Russia, he singles out one player for praise, and the name of the player is Olusegun, a player who had his debut game for the Super Eagles of Nigeria against Russia. And these are the exact words from Eric Sequichel to Olusegun. Let's have a glance of it on our screens. He said, "He is very fast. He does not lose the ball. I am very glad that he came to the team. He still needs to work on himself a lot, to learn a lot." That is what he said. Olusegun showed excellent results during the week of working with us. As for his game for Krasnodar, that is his club side in Russia, I think he needs to be more decisive, to take the game more upon himself. So these are the exact words from Eric Sequichel to the former Nigeria under-17 star, Olusegun. And that is it from the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Still in the matters arising from the Super Eagles of Nigeria's game, especially their last game against the Esponaya of Russia, is from Victor Boniface. We all know the playful nature of Victor Boniface and that of his jokes. At times, he could create something that later on is to be a prank. But this time, I could see nothing more than a prank when he stated on his Instagram page that he has retired from international football, and going forward, he is no longer going to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. This one became very topical on the various social media platforms. But as it stands now, when you look at the post, it has been deleted. So I don't know what is wrong with Victor Boniface, because we all know that he had underwhelming performance or display against Russia. He was very nonchalant and redundant up front for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Should I even say he was a defensive striker for the Super Eagles of Nigeria? I didn't know whether he wanted to retrogress or progress with the ball up front for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He had that underwhelming performance or display. And from the look of things, so far, so good for Victor Boniface. It has been very unfortunate for him. He has played 13 games. I stand to be corrected. It's quite unfortunate with his international profile. 13 games, 1 goal and 1 assist. The last time Victor Boniface scored for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, I stand to be corrected, but it was somewhere around 13th of October 2023. It was an international friendly game against Saudi Arabia. That was the last time Victor Boniface scored for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and that is his only goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. 2 years down the line, Super Eagles of Nigeria star Victor Boniface is yet to score another goal for the team, and I think he's quite worried about what is happening. I hope Victor Boniface doing TikTok videos, coming in, not scoring for the Super Eagles. At times, I'm quite reliable, but at the end, I'll be unreliable for the fans, and Nigerian football community are quite anxious that what is happening to Victor Boniface. Victor, if you can't play, just go out for the likes of Tolu Arukodai and the likes to come and play. Sio Desses and others need more playing time in the Super Eagles of Nigeria team. Let's look at the Instagram post that led to the multifarious opinions on the various social media platforms about Victor Boniface retiring from his Super Eagles of Nigeria's team. He stated on Instagram that proud to play for my country and a dream for me also. Really enjoyed every moment, the good and the bad. Thanks a lot. Thank you all. I don't hang my boots. That is what Victor Boniface posted on his Instagram post. I think some few minutes after, he deleted that post. I don't know whether it's that of the prank that you are talking from Victor Boniface, as we all know him of his playful nature and the jokes that he sometimes creates. But with this, certain topics and certain things like this are very sensitive. So Victor Boniface, but as it stands now, since he has deleted the video, I think there's nothing serious with respect to what he posted on social media. That is on his Instagram post. And that is it. Going forward, let's see what's transpire or what happens from the camp of Victor Boniface. As he retiring from international football or still going to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria when he gets the opportunity or when he gets the invitation. And that is it from the camp and the latest from Nigeria sports. I will end here with my presentation. But before I take a leave of you, let me give special shout out to these top commenters in the comment box. They are really doing well. We are having certain challenges with the platform as it stands now. So just keep it logged on the platform. You try as much as you can to keep you updated. That is just at times you not see the highlights on the platform. A lot of complications out there, but you try as much as you can to create content that you will be okay with. Now, special shout out to Emmanuel Chika. I really appreciate your support to Sports Fella. Tony, I really appreciate your support. Chukwuka, okay, Chukwuka, I do appreciate your support. This is from, I don't know, but let me just get a name. Well, okay. Mambatiko TV. Okay, I do appreciate your support. David, I do appreciate your support. A whole lot of names coming inside, but let me just proceed with the ones that I can pronounce with accuracy. This is from Benga Gabriel. Gabriel Benga, I do appreciate your support on this platform. John Brown, I do appreciate your support. Oliver Michael, indeed, I do appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Emem Apan, I do appreciate your support on Sportsvilla. And that is it from the world of sports, especially from Nigeria sports. I was being supported by my hardworking chief editor, Emmanuel Kwame Asedu, and my amazing graphic designer, Dominic. Let's meet in the next one. It's bye for now.